Oh. Hi, I am Nicole Williams, and we are in the Westfield Networking Group, one of Jennifer Johnson's TTR Networking groups, and we are so excited to be here. Lydia Chastain, with the director with the Marketing Fortune Academy, will be our guest speaker this morning, and we're so excited to hear about this amazing school. Thank you, Lydia. How are you today?
I'm good, and I apologize in advance. I'm in my car this morning. Today's a meeting day for me, so I am just in and out of meetings all day long. So I apologize. But thank you, Nicole, for the introduction. My name is Lydia Chastain. I am the marketing director with Fortune Academy. So Fortune Academy is a small 501c3 nonprofit first through 12th grade school here in the Indianapolis area. We are actually located at Fort Bend off of 56th Street. If you know La Hacienda, then you've seen our building. We're right next door. So we have about 89 students between 1st and 12th grade. That number does fluctuate a little bit, just depending on enrollment since it is year round. However, we work with the 1 in 5 students who have a learning difference. So a learning difference or a learning disability is an auditory learning difference that makes it so you cannot process information the same as somebody else does. We see this very traditionally in diagnoses such as dyslexia, dyscalculia, dysgraphia, ADD, and ADHD as well. We'll see a lot of those go hand in hand. So we, using the Orton-Gillingham approach, are able to bring students into our school and teach them how to learn the way their brain processes information. So right now, we are actually just ranked the 18th school in the nation for private Orton-Gillingham schools, and we are now the only accredited school in Indiana by the Orton-Gillingham Association. Even more exciting to that, the new president of the Orton-Gillingham Association is the founder of our school as well. So very proud of her for that, and shows some great progress, we think, here in the community for these students. So yeah, like I said, we are a private school. So unfortunately, we do not receive any federal funding. So we are always fundraising. We are right now going into our annual giving campaign for the year. So our annual giving campaign really helps support the gap between what students' tuition costs as well as what our operations are. Operations aren't just building costs. Operations are teacher salaries, teacher benefits, programming for our students, field trips, outdoor activities, sports, anything that is outside of the traditional classroom environment. Our students are utilizing those annual giving funds in order to help just supplement their learning and make sure they have the same learning experience as anybody else. So we are Fortune Academy. Like I said, we're located at Fort Bend, and we are transforming the lives of the 1 in 5 students with a learning difference.
I absolutely love that. Does anyone have any questions for her?
With your students, do you have to have one-on-one, or can they do small groups, or how does that work?
Yeah, so our students in a traditional public school environment, traditionally students would be pulled out of the classroom into a resource room for about an hour per day. In our school, it is actually the inverse of that. So our students are actually in smaller class periods. They are with 6 students to 1 teacher ratio throughout the day. And then they do get pulled into either smaller one-on-one groups, or they go into multiple classroom groups together, just depending on the activity. Our teachers are really great at collaborating, so we try to give them as much group as well as one-on-one time as possible. However, being in a small classroom environment allows for our teachers to instructionally give individualized learning plans to each one of these students. So since the teacher only has 6 students, they're really getting one-on-one time with the teacher throughout the entire class period, as well as a group setting. So they're getting multiple inverses of social group time, as well as teacher one-on-one and group time. And they do have tutoring and one-on-one time with their teachers throughout the day.
How did you handle all of that during COVID? It seems like that would have been impossible.
Yeah, so we actually, we were online from March until May during the first year of March 2020. In August of 2020, we came back into the building. Having smaller students within the class, we were able to have our desks 6 feet apart. So students wore masks and teachers wore masks as well throughout the pandemic. We had air filters and purifiers within every single classroom as well. And so we're very proud of the fact that starting in August of 2020, we never went out of school and online. So.
I can't even imagine how they could do it online. It's crazy.
Yeah, lots of, we did it online for a little bit, and it's just for our students, it was just unfortunately just way too difficult. There's way too many distractions for them. And so bringing them back into the building was just very important to us. And so we made that a priority. Lots of COVID tests, lots of substitute teachers, lots of washing hands in and out, but we did it. And we really stayed under 2% throughout the whole time of COVID positivity rate.
Nice, very nice.
That's pretty cool.
When I
again, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Could you say the name of this school again, please?
Yes, it's the Fortune Academy.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
How do students get to you? Are they assigned by somebody, or does a parent find you, or how do they find you? Or how do you find them?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really where my job comes in. So my job is to network with individuals, reach out to parents, and do a lot of SEO and social media work as well. But I will say the majority of our parents are really coming and finding us through Google. A lot of our parents are searching special needs schools for kids with dyslexia or schools for dyslexia, stuff of that nature. All of our students have to apply to Fortune Academy. They go through a 15-minute consultation call with one of our administrators to make sure they are the best fit for our school. If the student is not the best fit for our school does work to try to help and place that child in the proper area or get them the proper tutoring or services that they need to excel in their public school. However, students do go through that application process. Once that application process is done, parents will come in on a tour. Parents will tour, and then they'll bring their student in for a shadow day. After the shadow day, the student has the opportunity to make the decision as whether or not they are comfortable in coming to school here. We have found that really we have to have the students 100% willingness to come to school in order to make it successful. So we make that part of our admissions process. After that, the student is admitted and can start school within the next day. Yep,
wow.
But they do have to have an IEP diagnosis.
And IEPs, I have to say, are beyond amazing. The IEP is individual education program designed for a student. I've known this since it started with Lainey, my now 18-year-old. And so she had like a speech difficulty and then comprehension, and her school immediately got together with the counselor, the speech therapist, and they created a plan. They did some tests and created this amazing plan. So like, for example, one of the accommodations is that she can have extra time for a test, because sometimes, she'll read it, and tests are sometimes complicated to begin with, but they will read it, so she'll understand the question. And then, she has that smaller one-on-one. So to give you all an idea, if y'all haven't heard about, the amazing things that Lydia does, it's a full day of this, whereas it's just an hour a day for students like this. So when I met Lydia, I was like, okay, 18 years ago, come on. but just wonderful. I mean, I've heard my girls' schools are amazing, but wow, to have like a whole school dedicated to that is just phenomenal. So.
And I'll say it's incredible to see our kids come to us, and maybe I'm sappy because I love them so much, but it's incredible to see them come to us and not really have a vivacious personality, really be in their shell, be kind of scared to really express who they are and be themselves. And they come into this really loving environment where there's kids around them that are just like them and learn the same way as them. They're no longer the outsider getting pulled out of class and being seen as weird. They're in a community finally, and this loving community will help them thrive. And I mean, we had one student come in who was struggling in 4th grade to pass, and he came to us and just graduated this year, and he got a full ride to UIndy. So these kids have so much potential and they are above average learners. They just have to be able to learn in an environment that works for their brains.
Yes. 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 Love it. Ah. Thank you, Lydia. And any other questions?
Are you connected with the DII, Dyslexia Institute of Indiana?
So we're not connected with them, but we have worked in partnership with them for quite some time. They did help at some point training our teachers, but Orton Gillingham has actually gone through and created their own training system for that. So DIA's no longer had to do that with us. However, we still have a great partnership with them where we talk back and forth, and they're a great referral source for us.
Awesome. Well, yay. So, if anybody has any ideas, or any connections that we can help Lydia with, feel free, Lydia, I'll make sure we post your contact info
Yes, please.
in the chat room. And thank you. And Lydia is part of our Givers Game / Building Beyond Networking. It's official. We're so excited. Welcome, welcome. So excited.
I'm so excited to be here.
Yay. Okay,
So-
I am going to stop.
I do have
Go
a
ahead.
question. Lydia, how do your parents pay for the school? Is it all self-paid? Do you have programs for students to for assistance?
Yes. So with us not having government funding, typically we do not have any government funding for our students. So Fortune actually has their own scholarship fund that we fundraise through. 20% of our students are on our scholarship plan right now. And we have raised that in the last 2 years from 15 to 20% just due to our workings through being able to get scholarships for that. The second option is out-of-pocket pay. A lot of families will join together and we have moms, dads, aunts, uncles, and grandparents sometimes helping to pay for one student's education. But the third option is new as of this year. So the Indiana Education Support Assistant Scholarship Program has come out this year and was approved to be utilized for private funding and charter school funding. So parents are able to apply for that for their child, and they can gain some funding. However, we cannot guarantee an amount since that is really out of our control. So the only one we can really guarantee is our scholarship fund.
Okay.
Great question. Okay, I'm gonna thank you, Miss Lydia. I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording.
Yeah, and